Let's talk about Tiona Theus. Let's talk about Tiona Theus.
So I picked her up, she was trying to kiss her, gave her a hug. I didn't know it was gonna be the last kiss, but I felt good telling her I love her.
Out of another top story, the murder of Tioni Theus. Her father speaking out, remembering his 16-year-old daughter, whose body was found on the side of a freeway off-ramp in South LA. It's been 2 weeks since Theus was killed, and the questions surrounding her death are mounting.
Fox Christina Gonzalez is live.
We'll get back to this in a second. So, Tiona Theus was killed, and the article that came up says, okay, we can mourn Brianna Kupfer, but they had found the killer of Brianna Kupfer. And so, since they found the killer of Brianna Kupfer, they're like, okay, well, what about Tioni now? So it was they compared and contrast the deaths. Brianna Kupfer was found in a pool of her own blood, and Tiona Theus was just thrown off to the side on an on ramp on the 110 freeway. Drivers spotted the black girl's tiny body as they whizzed by the Manchester Avenue exit in the morning traffic of January 8th. Some called 911. Others did not. Soon, the California Highway Patrol showed up and quickly launched an investigation. Whatever momentum there was to solve the case seemed to have disappeared almost immediately. Meanwhile, Tioni's close-knit extended family watched with some measure of envy as Kupfer's slaying captured and diverted the media's attention, or the public's attention. There were dozens of media outlets, both local and national. This comes from MSN.com that showed up to cover multiple news conferences and vigils, the solemn vows from police to find our killer, the $250,000 reward, partly funded by the city. Wow, $250,000 for information leading to the arrest and prosecution of the man who was quickly identified as the suspect. All this is the Brianna Kupfer. And then they arrested Sean Lovell Smith, 31, while he was waiting for a bus. LA City Councilman Paul Koretz said Kupfer's killing has shaken and shocked our community to its core. LA Police Chief Michael Moore said to reporters, as a father, as a police professional, as just a human being, the unimaginable pain that they must be going through losing a 24-year-old daughter who had a bright and optimistic future. Indeed, as a Brentwood High School graduate, Kupfer had been taking courses for a degree in architecture and design at UCLA. Her killing was random and therefore scary, committed, according to police, by a complete stranger. Tioni's killer, on the other hand, could easily be someone she knew. The teenager, whom her family described as vibrant and intelligent, also was no angel, they readily admit. A few years back, she experienced a crushing emotional loss, leading to her trauma and flirtations with street life, and had run-ins with the law. But Rashida Kinsey, another of Tioni's cousins, said that's still no excuse for why the detective assigned to the case won't return her phone calls. No one from the California Highway Patrol showed up at a vigil for the teen earlier this week. Even though it was organized to renew interest in the case, and the agency took until Thursday evening, nearly 2 weeks after Tioni was found dead, to post a tweet requesting tips from the public. A CHP spokesman told me there's nothing new with the investigation. Tioni's family can't help but see what's happening as yet another reminder of who is valued in America and who is right. That's not taken away from the child's life being lost or what her family experienced, Nafisa Kinsey said of Kupfer. I'm happy they found someone to arrest. Justice needs to be served, but justice needs to be served for everybody, not just particular people. For better or perhaps ultimately for worse, Tioni Theus was fearless. That little girl wasn't scared of anything. It makes me think about whoever did this to her. Nafisa Kinsey said, I don't even think she was scared. That's probably why they killed her, because she wasn't easily intimidated. Tioni got good grades, played golf, and liked to dance and sing. She grew up sheltered, self-assured, and spoiled rotten, the only daughter of Teresa Theus, who for years wanted nothing more than to give birth to a baby girl. Once she did, mother and daughter lived in an apartment in L.A., but spent a lot of time hanging out with relatives in Compton, particularly Nafisha and Rashidi Kinsey. She had a mother that loved her dearly, Nafisha Kinsey told me, and took an interest in her. And all that changed one evening in early 2019.
With that father today.
You know, and her father is a very well-known, long-time shop owner here in Inglewood, which is, as far as we know, the last place where she was seen alive by a family member. Watch.
That was my baby girl.
Darian Jackson's baby girl was Tioni Theus. The 16-year-old was found shot to death at the Manchester on-ramp of the 110 freeway in South L.A. The night before, she told her dad she was going to a party.
She just left. So I picked her up, she was crying, I kissed her, gave her a hug. I didn't know it was gonna be the last kiss. So I feel like something was really wrong that night when she came. I begged her to stay. I said, just stay with me.
Tioni had struggled since her mother was so badly injured in a hit and run. The mom is now living in a rehabilitation facility due to her injuries.
She said, nobody loved me.
So her mom was hit in a hit and run. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. 13. Tioni was 13 years old at the time. So 3 years ago, Tioni told her cousin, "That's my mom." Nafisha Kinsey recalled. So Tioni had recognized her mom immediately because she said, "My mama had those pants." So she had saw Teresa, her mother, on the street and recognized her because she recognized her pants. And it was Teresa who was laid out in the middle of the street, blood everywhere. The hit and run accident had upended Tioni's life. Teresa survived, but hasn't been home since. She was in a coma for several weeks, had a breathing tube inserted in her throat for weeks after that. She has endured multiple surgeries, mostly to repair broken bones and reconstruct her face. Today, Teresa is in a rehab facility in Whittier where she will remain for the foreseeable future. The accident caused so much damage that now she's got the mental capacity of a child. She wasn't the same mom anymore, Rashida Kinsey said. Once she understood this, Tioni started rebelling. It began with long disappearances, hours and then days at a time, telling different relatives different stories about her whereabouts and using the confusion to sneak around. She met a man in his 20s on Instagram who Nafisha Kinsey says pulled her into prostitution, and Rashida Kinsey says used her to steal merchandise from high-end retail stores. Tioni's father became more involved after Teresa was hospitalized. Well, that Instagram guy, okay, he was the last person known to have seen his daughter alive. She left his house on January 7th, telling him that she was meeting a friend to go to a party, but she never came home. Even though I knew that she was in the streets, I never thought that this would happen to her, Rashida Kinsey said. She was a loving, caring person. She was smart. She's a human being. Yet most of the people who are killed in LA County, especially in this latest pandemic induced spike of cruel, often nonsensical homicides, don't look like Kupfer. They look like Theus, and they're just as troubled. We're definitely not pretending that Tioni was an angel. She faced trauma, Nafisha Kinsey said. I want to humanize her. I don't want her to be seen as a prostitute or a runaway or somebody that people feel like, oh, well, they lived that lifestyle. And more than anything, she doesn't want Tioni's killing or that of any other black girl to be forgotten or swept under the rug. It's so many young women out here being victimized and being taken advantage of physically and sexually, she said. So it's my cousin today, but it could be your cousin, your daughter, your friend tomorrow. So yeah, R.I.P. to Tioni Theus, and she is just as worthy of justice as that Brianna Kupfer.
Because her mom, she's the only person that loved me was my mom. I said, that's not true. I love you.
Tioni's case is in the hands of CHP investigators who say they don't believe she was shot where she was found. Her family has been holding vigils, trying to get more coverage for the case, which has gotten less attention than other recent murders, like that of furniture store employee Brianna Kupfer in Hancock Park.
It's troubling and disturbing because she was a young girl, 16 years old, who was shot to death and body was dumped in the freeway like she was garbage. We live in two different worlds. You got the rich people and you got the poor people, or middle class people, and we on the other side. If I was a rich person, they probably would have found the killer by now. Who knows? But I think the Highway Patrol, I talked to him. You're a good detective. He said he's doing everything he can.
The case has definitely gotten our attention, and of course, it's top priority, trying to, finalize this case and get justice for the family. So, the difference is obviously we don't have surveillance cameras like, other types of incidents that may be occurring in other areas. So, of course, we rely a lot on the public, right, to call us and did you see anything?
Investigators and Tioni's father are asking anyone, please come forward.
I can't take it. I don't have no more left in me.
And he says that because he's burying his daughter. 4 years ago, he had to bury his 19-year-old son who was shot when he was leaving work. It's a case that has yet to have any resolution for him. So on our website at Fox LA, perhaps you can give some information to the...
God damn. That family has gone through a lot. Her mother got ran over, hit and run. The 19-year-old son got shot and killed, and now the daughter got. And then they were saying, rich and poor, but, I'm sure there's a racial element to the thing, too. What a terrible tragedy, and let's get some justice. Let's get some justice for Tioni. Tioni what? Sorry. Tioni Theus. Let's get some justice for Tioni Theus. Somehow they're able to find the murderer of Brianna Kupfer, and I think he had a COVID mask and he just pulled it for a moment or something, and they're able to find the guy facial recognition, and then found him just waiting to catch a bus. So crazy that they're able to even catch the guy. They had him on surveillance. They had his face on surveillance. So Tioni Theus, no telling who it could be. Could it be a total random person, or could it be somebody that she had known? Anyways, let's get some justice for Tioni Theus. Let's get some justice for Tioni Theus. Peace.